by you, are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters? In other words, if you can't resolve your little issues here on earth, what makes you think that you're going to be able to judge the world? And then notice in verse 3, the Apostle Paul says, do you not know that we judge what? Angels. I suppose that must be the good angels. Can't be the good angels. Why would the good angels be judged? They're in the presence of God. They don't need to be judged. So who must these angels be? They must be the devil and hell. Do you not know that we shall judge angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? So the question is, how do we stand before the throne of God? The Bible says that the righteous are alive in heaven. They live, reign with Jesus at the kingdom of heaven, and they judge. The wicked were told that they did not live again because God was finished. In between, the dead appear what? They appear before God. How? Not in person because they're what? Because they're dead. They appear through their records. Once again, Revelation 10 and verse 12 makes this absolutely clear. It says, and I saw the dead small and great, standing before God, and books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged according to their works by the things which were written in the books. What is examined is the record in the books. That's how the wicked stand before God. Now we need to go to another very important point. I want to share with you an expanded meaning of the word spirit. You remember that we studied previously in a lecture that the spirit represents the breath of life or the vitalizing force that God gives us so that the body can function. But what I want to say is the spirit is that, but the spirit is more. You say, what do you mean the spirit is more? Once a person is given the breath of life, that person begins writing his or her personal history. Say an individual like Adam lived to be 930 years old. He wrote his history during those 930 years. Let me ask you, when Jesus resurrects Adam, is he only going to return to Adam the breath of life, or is he going to return to Adam the person that Adam was when he died? You see, he's not going to only return the breath of life, the bare breath of life, the energizing force. He has to return with the energizing force the character or the self-identity or the individuality that Adam developed during those 930 years of life. Are you understanding what I'm saying? In other words, the spirit, when a person dies, the Bible says it returns to God. The spirit means the breath of life, the energizing force, plus the record of the person's life will be returned to the person when the person resurrects. That is the spirit. Now, don't misunderstand. The spirit is not some invisible, some conscious entity that leaves the body at the moment of death. No. What God does is he saves the record of that person's life, because when he resurrects that person, he's going to give that person the breath of life plus the record of his life that makes, for example, Adam, Adam. What would happen if God returned the breath of life to Adam and he gave him the personality of Jane Johnson? That wouldn't fit very well, would it? That'd be totally out of character. And so what God does, what he's going to do, is he's going to return to the person who resurrects the breath of life and the record of their life, which is contained in the heavenly records. Notice Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 7 on this point. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 7. Speaking about the process of death, it says, then the dust will return to the earth as it was, and the spirit will return to God who gave it. Do you know what God saves in heaven when a person dies? God doesn't go around saving I think I'll save his breath. I think I'll save his breath. No, because God can give the energizing force. The energizing force is the same for everybody. But the life of each person is different for each person. And so when God returns the breath, he returns the saving. is the record of that person's life. In other words, he's saying baptism